seen, you know what I'm saying? Like, and their understanding of who God is, it's not the same understanding that you may have. So when they say, "Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?" It's like that's not the same God I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? In fact,
Yeah.
God might be Lucifer. Shit, for all I know. You know what I mean? But that ain't the same God I'm talking about. So we gotta really be careful when we submit to their God. See, because what they're doing is they're making us submit to their fiat. You know what I mean? Their form of fiat. So they get you in there. First thing they want you to do is put your hand on the Bible, which is their authority. You know what I'm saying? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Now you be like, oh, and in your mind you might be saying, oh, I'm a religious person. I believe in God. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I swear to tell the truth, so help me God. So you really thinking like God is there in the court with you? Like, no, you know what I'm saying?
And
There,
in the Bible, it says not to swear.
right,
Not to swear. So you're swearing on the Bible. You're doing what it says not to, which I'm guilty of doing that before. But
right,
I didn't know what I was doing, Everybody is tricked.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
I won't ever
and
do that again.
yeah, yep, yep. That's exactly, and like I tell them too. I say, yeah, it's against my religion to swear. You know what I'm saying? Like I always implement. I always say this against my religion, whatever, da da da, because they have to respect your religion. You know what I'm saying? And when you bring that up as a factor, that's a real touchy issue because you have religious protections, so they don't just want to trample over that like it has no validity. You know what I'm saying? Once you start speaking like that, they're gonna fall back and be like, oh man, here she goes. Damn. We thought we could just trick her up with all the legal stuff. Now she's talking about God and jurisdictions and wills. And oh man, and she's tying it together. You know what I'm saying? So she knows that the authority of her will comes from her creator. And she knows that we can't just trample on that. Damn. Oh man, she got us in a tight spot now. Okay, what can we do now? Oh, so when was the last time you seen the children? Try to get you, try to sidetrack you now with the emotions. So you try to petition to see them, and they wouldn't let you see them. So
Yeah.
what happened then? And now you're getting emotional. Yeah, they did, and then you know what I'm saying. And now they try to get you. No, don't fall for none of that. Because they're gonna try to do that.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to do that. They're gonna have some fat woman in the room there. I'm telling you, like specifically, she's gonna be fat. For that particular reason, she's gonna have some fat woman in there, and she's gonna come to you and try to sympathize with you, be like, "Oh yeah, I understand," and I know the hell you don't. You're playing this role for them. Don't try to butter me up because I'm not falling for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to get justice, man. I don't want no sugar coating, no butter on my biscuit. I want justice. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Hmm.
And I was gonna say too, yeah, you know, keep your poise and everything like that. And then when you see them trying to come with the BS, then you assertively just shut it down. And then stick and then go back to the facts, back to the will. Listen, I'm controlling my estate. My children are mentioned in my as heirs to the estate. Everything is managed. The state has no control over my property, over my personal, my private property. You can say because that's what it is. You know what I mean? And you stand on that authority because like I said, that you already know what they're trying to do. They're trying to strip you of all of that. So
Yeah. And they've had them for quite a long time. Like it's getting a lot of time. 6 months is a lot of time.
mhm.
And I mean, possession is 9/10 of the law, they say. So I really got to come at them hard,
Right,
you
and,
know?
and you're right because too. I think it's like after like 2 years or something like that. See, but like they may try to say some BS as far as me not claiming um the legal custody because they gave her the custody of the kids, but I was still petitioning the courts, for my rights and whatnot, which they were basically denying. Um,
Damn.
so basically, they can't say that like because from the beginning, since my child was born, I was petitioning the courts, letting them know, listen, this is my child. Even though she tried to fucking basically, she did some bullshit with her mother, try to keep me from coming up to the hospital, so I couldn't get the chance to sign my name on the birth certificate. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, man. You know what I mean? Fucking mother trying to lie to me and trying to say some little slick shit, thinking, oh, talk about, oh, come to the hospital, she needs you here, da, da. And then when I come up there, they get on some bullshit and try to call the police on me or some shit and say some BS. Like, oh, he's not supposed to be around her or something or whatever the hell.
When she's born.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm trying to say, man. It's the wickedness, man. You know what I'm saying? And she's following behind her mother, and her mother putting all this bullshit in her fucking head. And I'm like, yo, see, this is how the cycle repeats, man. And like when I last time seen her, I was like, yo, man, you didn't grow up with your father, and you're gonna sit here and do the same damn thing to your child, man. Like, fuck out of here, man. You was right there with your mother putting that bullshit in your head. You know what I'm saying? Because usually it's the mothers that are promoting the bullshit to the daughter. You know,
that's why I had to get rid of my mom. Yeah. Get rid of her. She was like, hire an attorney and blah blah blah, and now she's friends with the foster mom, and she was trying to petition to get my babies, and they said no because she was in a different state. Well, now I just found out in their records that they sent me that she's not even getting visitation. So none of our family is getting any visitation with all 5 of our babies. And they're all trying to. All his family was trying to get them. They said no. Now they've cut my mom off, even though she's crazy. But still, it was like 1 point of access to a family that could actually like set their eyes on them. You know what I mean? So... and nobody's had any contact with him in like 2 months. And every time his family calls DHS to get him, they say they can't talk to them about it. And in their rules, it says they have to be with relatives before they can even be with any foster, anything like that.
Yes, that reminds me of what I was going to say last night. If you want to write this down, it's called first right of refusal. First right of refusal, meaning like, and when that pertains to, say, custody cases, it goes to say that, okay, well, I say for in my situation, if my son's mother has custody of the kids, and say she has to go to work or something during the day, and if I'm home during the day, then I have the first right of refusal to watch my kids, to supervise and caretake for my kids before anybody else. She can't go and say, oh, I'm going to put him in daycare, or I'm going to have my mom watch him or my aunt watch him. No, I am the fucking father. I have the first right of refusal to take care of those kids when you're not, present or whatever. I am the first one in line, not somebody else, fucking daycare or anybody. So, you know what I'm saying? So you have to you have to stand on your first right of refusal. You know what I'm saying? If you look that up, you'll get all the terminology on it. First right of refusal.
It's saying refusal. Is it? Okay, here it is. I got it now. Yeah.
Refusal.
Yeah, defining.
Type in first right of refusal, custody case. You know what I'm saying? That pertaining to custody, and then they'll state, like, basically what I was just saying. The parent has the first right of refusal.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of seeing some of it. Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about. That's a good one to put in here.
And see, now, I don't know if that's like a technical law or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But if I could find some kind of law that backs that up, man, I'm a damn sure enforce that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that for sure. I've got all these papers, good ideas that I want to do, but it's just so much. And and I think the will is like one of the most foundational things, at least that opens me up to be in charge of the estates, So I've been trying to focus on that because I wasn't focusing on the right things for a while. My head was kind of like, okay, which way do I go? Commercially or private? I've been mixing the private and public, not meaning to. And I think a lot of people do that. And that's a big mistake, Yeah.
But like you said, we do it like unknowingly, and like we're not experts at all of this, you know what I'm saying? We're all trying to figure all this stuff out, you know what I'm saying? We've all gotten a lot better in everything that we know and stuff like that. Like I look back on some of the things you were showing me yesterday, I'm like, yo, this woman is no joke. Like she's really on her shit. Like she's not playing, man. You know what I'm saying? Something like I said, a lot of people be talking this shit, but they don't be walking this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you really walking it. Like you was
Thank
not playing, man. You know what I mean? So like I respect that to the utmost, man. That, you know, you willing to go out and fight for your babies, man.
thank you.
And,
Well,
and
they're
you know,
mine.
people
That's my
people think,
life.
people think because I'm not like right now at this time I'm not like physically see because my whole thing is I know that when you see it's a game, it's a trap they do. Like for example, when I petition for my kids for my custody and visitation, everything like that, her lawyer tried to say, "Oh well, he hasn't had a legal claim on the second child because my second son, she like I said, she tried to do that bullshit in the hospital." So and you see what it is too. You know, I was telling her like, see, being that she wasn't into this information, I shouldn't have been telling her certain things that I was trying to do because she fuck around and turn against me. You see me
Mm,
on the, you see me doing all this research every day trying to get our fucking family free, and then you're gonna go in a fucking court and go against me. You know what I'm saying? Like you a foul ass fucking. You know what I mean? Like
that's terrible.
like, you see what I'm trying to do, man. And then you just like and I swear, man. But you know, she's gonna get her due. She's gonna get her due. And I'm not even on some like revenge shit. I'm on some justice shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna get justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And like
that's what I'm after.
word is bond. And purposely, yes, hell yeah, you're gonna have to feel that pain of not seeing your fucking kids for a long ass time. Because like I told them, they talk about something for a limited time. Man, I get them kids in my possession. Y'all better find me, because
Yeah, I
don't,
know.
I don't know what to tell you. My motherfucking kids, man. Fuck out of here. Not you or the state gonna. And now I gotta play this little game right now because of this bullshit fucking order of protection. You know what I'm saying? So you kidnap my kids and then you run down to the court to try to create a barrier to where I can't get to my kids. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here, man. They playing chess with these babies, using them as pawns.
Yep. And what she doesn't realize is by contracting with them, they can come a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, do whatever they want. They got permission to go to their school, to go whatever she does with them. Now she's just given them over.
Right.
So instead of being on your side and learning and things, she just made a fool of herself for her babies. And that's what's sad. That's really awful for them. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you know, right. You know what I mean? And then, you know, it is what it is, whatever. And then it's like, you know, all the stuff I done taught you, you know, how to be a queen and respect yourself and you know telling you to you're the queen of the universe and the mother of civilization and all this good stuff, but you ain't trying to live that out. You know what I'm saying? You rather be a fucking whore for the system, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what kind of fiat? How do I put the
Yes,
fiat
I'm
in
gonna
here?
pull this. I'm gonna pull up my will right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you some stuff that King had sent me, and I added that on to my oh, and two, you know, after we go through this stuff, we can get into the treaty stuff and all of that too.
Yeah.
As a way, you know, we could accede to a treaty. I've got my instrument of full powers, instrument of a session drawn up. I just been trying to get with Keith and see, like, you know, give some guidance on how to go about dealing with the Secretary General and all of that. I mean, I have documents, I have it's all in the writings. I can read it myself, but I just try to build with him because you know he's real knowledgeable and you know he can really just easily guide me to what I need to do instead of me have to do all the reading and research. And so, and like I said, I've been trying to like you know put heads together, man. You know what I'm saying? One head is definitely way better than one. So
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do, but there's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of people who just have a different, want to go the patriot route and connect themselves to the state even more, and I don't want to be a part of the state. I'm my own state of mind.
right, exactly. Yo, and you know what, Pete yes, actual fact. I looked up the word state, and the word state says exactly that. It says a condition of mind or temperance, and then the transitive verb for state, it says to set by regulation or authority. It says to express the particulars of, especially in words. So when you manifest your will, you're expressing the particulars of, especially in words. And guess what? You just created your state.
Oh,
In words. You express the particulars of in words.
that's
That is your
awesome.
state. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
just created your state. And more so your nation state. You know what I mean? And then your nation state is going to interact with other nation states, which puts you on an international level. You know what I
that's
mean?
awesome.
So, okay, so you want to test me.
I'm gonna put it.
Hold on, sorry. No, share this attitude. All right, you can see this now?
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah, see, so this stuff on the top, I'm going to copy this and put it to my email up there so I can read it off of the.
Yeah, I did an appointment of executor too, and I sent it off already, but I didn't send it to myself first. So I can include that with the will, the appointment.
The executive letter, you said?
I'm sorry?
You said the executive letter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to go over that too, the executive letter. Yeah, facts. I've been
I
working
have
on that.
one written.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I got it drawn up too. My thing is like when the people so like I was building with our brother about that and like when it says who you're gonna send it to, it says like who the principal is and who the agent is, basically. That whole thing. So when it says like I guess supposed to send it to the the judge who's acting as such and
Yeah.
such, we'll go through the thing later and I'll show you what I mean.
Okay, yeah, because I've got mine pulled up too, the executor notice.
All right, let me all right, compose. I'm just sending this to my email so then I can read it off. I'm sorry, pardon me. 1 second. I only got 1 second for this. Send this file. Send. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, so you can see this here.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go grab a pen really fast.
All right.
Can you Yeah, zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man, my computer's moving all slow and shit, man. Okay, all right, there we go.
I, Lord Messiah Allah El make this will in honor of the Most High, Allah the Beneficent and Merciful, who made the extensions of heavens and the earth, who orders my footsteps and all my affairs. The Quran is evidence of his words in which he is the author and have full authority. I shall obey Allah's words, that is the Quran from cover to cover. Allah is my creator, and I am his Yahoo Mail.
Sorry.
Home. The Quran from cover to cover. Allah is my creator, and I am his.
Dude, wait till you see this.
Hang on.
Oh, you're on.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Look, what is it?
Go ahead. I'll bet.
My bad, Party. You need to do something real fast?
Huh? No, that's okay.
All right, Party. All right, so what just happened? Okay. All right, what was that? Oh my gosh, come on, man. She's moving all slow. Man. Take this. Come on. Yeah, pardon me, man. This computer's moving slow.
That's okay.
Open up. Hold on.
I, Lord Messiah Allah El make this will in honor of the Most High, Allah the Beneficent and Merciful, who made the extensions of heavens and the earth. 2. Back. 14 Last Will and
What the
Testament
hell,
1
man?
4.x. The Quran is evidence of his words in which he is the author and have full authority. I shall obey Allah's words, that is the Quran from cover to cover. Allah. 2. Back.
Come on, yo.
14 Last Will and Testament 1. Quran is the supreme authority over my affairs in which I shall honor from birth till death, and this will shall forever be governed by. I am under the covenant of the Quran. 2. Back. And refuse all other covenants and contracts. I shall honor all prophets of the Quran and or Bible, divine beings, and the ancestors. I honor my ancestors by proclaiming my Moor nationality and stake claim to their estates here. Compose 300 here in the Americas, aka Turtle Island. I shall walk in righteousness and stand on the pillars of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Article I, Statement of Fact. Compose 380 I, Lord Messiah Allah El, who is the of age of majority, and shall handle my own affairs. Declared from my mouth to my hands, this document is my will and testament. Fully expressed from now until my death and forevermore. Compose. 380. Now until my death and forevermore, that my will be carried out. Lord Messiah Allah Luni There's all temple. 4. The sun, planets, moon and stars, int org. Shall be my compose. 380. Trust. Protector. And this will shall be placed in the corpus of a private trust, Lord Messiah. Allah.
So you know how we talk about the safeguarding of the will. So actually, let me put safeguard shall my trust, my will and trust protected. Actually, I cannot correct that another time on the other document. But the will and trust, hold on, protected. Yeah, so basically, I made the international organization part of the I mean, rather say the safekeeper for the will and trust. You know?
Yeah.
So more something like a physical person or whatever, like it's the organization.
Compose. 380. Trust. Compose. Trust. Protector. And this will shall be placed in the corpus of a private trust, Lord Messiah. Allah El Irrevocable Living Trust, undisclosed of public view, and this trust shall be deemed Yahoo Mail. Home. Under the jurisdiction of international private law. This document shall.
See, I just stated the law
be deemed real, personal.
Yeah.
It says that the trust will be governed by the jurisdiction of international private law. So all the rules that pertain to that pertain to this will and trust.
I had put mine under the law of natural, or the natural law, but the international private law is, as what I'm seeing, is
okay. That's the. You know what? I'm later on. You can watch the video me and the brother Ezel was doing the other night, and we was building on that. I went from universal law, which is basically, like I say, the whole universe is mental, and they even know this. It's called universal law, based on logic of the mind. And then you got natural law based on nature. So it goes from the mental mind of the universe to the physical wisdom of nature. You know what I'm saying? The mental knowledge of the universe to the physical wisdom of nature. So that's why I would say man is the mental knowledge, the masculine aspect of the universe. Woman is the physical nature, which is the feminine aspect of the universe. So, and that's the balance. That's the masculine and feminine balance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
yeah.
And intellectual property of Lord Messiah Allah El Estate. This will is my record and evidence of my estate for heirs to receive the benefits of my estate. Lord Messiah Allah Luni There's all temple. 4. The sun, planets, moon and stars. Int org. Is a divine institution BSED upon a God-centered culture having its origins in the philosophies of the below-mentioned Islamic Trinity. Our jurisdiction stands upon the laws of 1.The Circle 7 Quran of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. 2. The Supreme Wisdom Lessons of Elijah Muhammad, and 3. The Supreme Mathematics and Supreme Alphabets of the Father Allah. All power is derived from my universal Creator Allah, earthly ancestors, Father and Mother Jus. Sanguinis, the rights of primogeniture, Jus Postlaminium, Jus Hereditatis, Jus Recuperandi, Jus Soli, Jura Sanguinis Nullo Jure Civili Derima Possent. In the temples of the said int org, we do not worship or pray to a Mysterious God, thought to be outside of one's very own being for your body, is your temple, and there is where we give reverence to the Supreme Being in our very own being. We teach ISLAM as I.S.Elf. L.AWA.MN.
I didn't realize that's what that is.
I.S.Prim.
Say again.
Islam, I am self-law master. I didn't.
Right. Uh-huh. Right, exactly. Yeah, you got many breakdowns. Somebody be like, I came up with a few of my own, like you had terms like I supremely love Allah's mathematics, or this one here, I study, learn, and minister. I also heard I study, learn, and memorize. I shine light around me. I stimulate life and matter. Um, isn't she lovable and motherly? You know what I mean?
Dang.
Right. Yeah. Many different ways you could break it down. And more superficially, some like the Moors say I self law and master. You know what I mean? So, we stand upon the law as masters. I self law and master. And so let me go back and read this. All right, I read the page now. Hold on a minute. Pardon. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh yeah, so and you see how I mentioned it's a divine institution based on the Islamic Trinity. So I mentioned those three nations: the Moorish Science Temple, the nation of Islam, and the nation of God's earth. That's a tri-union of nations, which makes it an international organization. You know what I mean? Based upon the philosophies of these three nations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yahoo Mail. Home. Compose. We teach ISLAM as I.S.Elf. L.AWA.MN.ASTER or I. S.Aprimly L.over.Lars M.AT Hematics, and thus I.
That's cool.
S.Chudi L.Erna.NDM.I and ISTA at the above said temples. I describe the above international organization, abbreviated as INT. Org, as a divine institution based upon an Islamic trinity of historic prophecy and divinity, having its origins in the three essential philosophies 4. 1. Knowledge 2. Wisdom and 3. Understanding. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad studied at the Moorish Science Temple of America, acquiring the noble title of Elijah Bey. Look it up. And he nationalized Cases Clay with the noble title Muhammad Ali. In following the laws of succession, the Father Allah studied at Temple Number 7, taught by Malcolm X, and in turn he taught the supreme wisdom lessons to his 5% nation of gods and earths. This shows the historic transcendence of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that born the culture of my int.org. Last Will and Testament 4.
Right, so basically,
Lord Messiah Allah El Irrevocable Living Trust.
all of their teachings led up to my
Self-proving a will in New York Section 1406 of the New York Code states that either or.
All right. See now this.
Both witnesses to a will may swear an affidavit before a notary public or an officer authorized to administer oaths, confirming that the writer of the will was in sound mind at the time of signing, and was York Section 1406 of the New York Code states that either or. Both witnesses to a will may home compose.
All right, so basically that portion on the top was basically like the fiat that was added. So I said, I, Lord Messiah Allah, make this will in honor of the Most High Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, who made the extensions of the heavens and earth, who orders my footsteps, and after the Quran is evidence of his words in which he is the author, and I have full authority. I shall obey Allah's words. That is the Quran from cover to cover. Now, me specifically, I'm going to kind of change that. I don't know about from cover to cover, but I'm going to be like, I'm going to put a clause in my thing that says, I honor all the prophets and divinities of all these holy books. But at the same time, I, at my discretion, via choice of laws, shall pick and choose which laws I shall implement at any given time. So in other words, I could be versatile with however I want to use the laws, the same way they do. You know what I'm saying? They switch up laws on you. When you go there, they be like, okay, well, this doctrine says, okay, well, this code says, well, you know, so we can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? At our will. You know what I mean?
I was curious about your reference to the statue, the New York statue in your will.
I was about to go over that. Yeah, thank you. Right, because I'm gonna take that out right there. That's not gonna stand because now that I understand as far as you don't want to use the statues and stuff. So yeah, so this right here, but this wasn't. But for a public trust though, this is an ill will statue right here. Self proving a will in New York. Section 1406 in New York, all right, states that either or both witnesses to a will may swear an affidavit before a notary public or an officer authorized to administer oaths, confirming that the writer of the will was sound in mind. Yeah, the same thing they do in your will. You know, it's like the acknowledgement, an attestation, basically. So it's stating that you can make an attestation which will make your will official. You know what I mean? So you can either get it done before a notary, authorized person who administers oath, confirming that the writer of the will is in sound mind, or signing was competent to make the will. You know what I mean? So, you know, and that's like what is a notary or some kind of psychologist now or something? How do they know if you're at sound mind? Like just because
Right.
they show my ID and be like, here, I want to notarize this document. Oh, look, they look at you. Okay, I guess you're at sound mind. Okay, yeah, just sign here. And like, really, anybody can do that. You can be, you can have all kind of stuff going on with you. Anyway, so alongside Allah being of sound and reposing mind and memory. Yeah, so this is basically like my acknowledgement, you know, and expressing revoking of all former wills, you know, so the revocation. And then Article 1, they usually have you put like your background history. So I put family history here, whatever, my spouse, all references to the will, my spouse, and not to all references in this will to any offsprings are to, and then you know, so therefore, like at the time of me, like before when I filed this, or at any time being that open, you know, saying for signature, as you say, I could put whoever the spouse is at the time, or whoever, you know, and all my kids at the time, but definitely my children. I don't definitely going there, you know. So payment of expenses, deposition of estate. Basically, we just kind of go through the provisions of what I have here. I should have made a table of contents to make it more easier. But anyway, so yeah, so in this here, disposition of estate. That's kind of like you setting up your line of successorship. So therefore, I stated, you know, I give devise and bequeath. Bequeath means like to come after. You know what I mean? All my estate of whatsoever kind and wheresoever situated as follows. I leave all my property, both real and personal, tangible and intangible, to Messiah Chahim Hardy, more popularly known as Messiah Chahim Hardy LLL. See how I also gave them, you know, I added my righteous last name to them as well, because I haven't changed my name legally, but I'm going to do it in my own private work. So if that stands, that's what it is. I say it is. If I want to change my kid's name, then I'll do that, and I'll leave the state permission. So I'm just doing it, you know, in my will. So therefore, when they come of age, a majority, and they want to change their name, they could say, listen, my father gave me this name in my will, and it's bestowed upon me to take on this name. So yeah, by right of my father's succession, you draw up your little affidavit and go down there and get your name changed and all that. That's recognized.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anything. And if and Michael Javale Hardy. So. And if Michael Javale Hardy and Messiah Hardy should fail to survive me, I leave all my property, real, tangible, da da da, to Gennaro, to Billy Hardy, those my brothers. And then I say that if it don't go to them, then I leave it to my niece and nephew, you know what I mean, and so forth and so forth. So we just like, draw that line all the way down and keep that line of heirship going. So it may provide instructions in the letter to my independent executor as to the disposition of some of my personal and household uh, effects. All right. So heirs at law. That's what your beneficiaries be known as, heirs at law. You know what I'm saying?
What's the difference between? Isn't there a difference between at law and in law?
I was about to say that exactly. When we say like, oh, that's my mother-in-law. Yeah, your mother-in-law, but your children are your heirs at law. You know what I'm saying? So at and in are two different things. In means you're in, referring to inside, as if like you're within the jurisdiction of that law. But when you say heirs at law, meaning that they're heirs because law applies to the fact of what makes them my heirs. So they're heirs at law, or heirs because of law, or heirs by law. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can also use that, heirs by law. You know what I mean? And by what law? By my law that I stated in my will. I told you they are my heirs. God damn it. That's what I said. It is what it is. That's my will. You know what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand. Like, yo, literally, your will, like I said, as long as you're not putting something in that's just crazy. Like, you can't just say, like, yo, because I say everybody is under my command, I'm the dictator of the planet, and this is my will, and everybody has to succumb to my will. Like, nah. I don't think anybody goes like that. If it's something basic pertaining to you and your children and your rights and everything, and you have all kind of public rights to back up. See, this is the thing too. We talk about not mixing public and private, but the public laws are only statutes provided to be synonymous with the private laws. Like, remember how I showed you last night how they took for the international will certificate, they just took the provisions of that private convention and turned them into public statutes, but they use the same exact words to show that they're uniform with the private law. So public law and private law are really not that different. It's just that, like I said, on the private side of things, you handle your law and you establish and execute the law. On the public side, they decide the law and they execute the law. You know what I mean?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's why just when it comes to the private side, so we do it instead of them doing it.
I gotcha. Okay.
Taking control, basically. So definition of survival, appointment of executor, and you can, like I said, you can copy and paste some of this stuff to add it to your, and we'll go through yours afterward as well. I'm just skim through this to show you what.
Yeah, this is great.
This is talking about appointment of executor. So now I say, okay, I hereby nominate, constitute, and I hereby nominate, constitute, and appoint Lord Messiah Allah, known as Lord Messiah Allah, here, part of self, Allah, and properly known as Lord Messiah Allah L, as independent executive for Lord Messiah Allah L, Irrevocable Living Trust. In the event that Lord Messiah Allah L, also known as Lord Messiah Allah L, and properly known as, shall predecease me or fail or refuse to qualify or die, resign, or become unable to serve during the administration for Lord Messiah Allah Irrevocable Living Trust, I hereby nominate or constitute or appoint Gennaro Hardy, more popularly known as Gennaro Hardy Allah L. And I put my last name on all my brothers too, so that whenever they sign, they're going to put their thumbprint, and that's the thumbprint Allah L. And that's going to be our dynastic seal. Because I'm also doing this like as a dynasty for like my brothers and my sons. You know what I'm saying? And Yeah, I might be a little selfish, but I'm just trying to reverse what the state does. They give everything to the mother and inheritance, but what about the men? We got to create our own line of succession as well. So
Mhm.
I'm doing this in a dynasty fashion. You know what I'm saying? And a dynasty means pertaining to the men. So you know what? Remember when Jay Z and them came out with the album The Dynasty, and they had that girl, the female rapper Emil in there. She shouldn't have been in there, but that's a dynasty. That's all men. Now you got a woman in there, unless she's some kind of something we don't know about. But anyway, yeah. But So all right. So I will have nominations.
Goodness.
So yeah. So basically, I gave a lineage of executorship. Powers of my executor, stating all the powers of what the executor can do. Um, Spendthrift provisions, no interest of the beneficiaries, and the corpus or income for domicile irrevocable trust shall be subject to assignments, alienations, pledge, attachment, or claims of creditors. So, in other words, basically saying, your way of protecting your assets. Um, in terrorism clause, in terrorism clause, okay. If any beneficiary under this bill shall in any manner contest or attack this will or any of its provisions, any share of the interest of the trust given to such contesting beneficiaries under this will hereby revoke with such contesting. Oh, okay. So it's basically saying nobody can contest this will, basically.
Okay.
Definitions of interpretation. For the interpretation of celestial will imprisonment, administration of established a state established therein, the following provisions shall apply. The word child, children, descendant, issue, the similar term shall deem to include such persons in gestation at the applicable time and later born alive as if the person were living at the applicable time. So in other words, as this will apply to all my children who are living now, it also applies to any of my children who are to come in the future.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's irrevocable. It's like, it's going to last forever. You set it up to where this is going to last forever. This is how people build great dynasties and empires on the planet, by keeping wealth in their family and keeping it transferring from generation to generation to generation. And basically each generation is getting richer and richer or wealthier and wealthier as they go along. Like I was trying to tell I'm like, yo, isn't a will a great thing? Like, pay attention, man. You're sitting here about to die intestate purposely. I'm sitting here telling you, like, man, come on. So definitions. So yeah, attestation. Now this is the part, the attestation. The foregoing instrument was on this day of such and such. I gotta change that date. See how long about the 2019? See how long I've been working on this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Word. And made published as the last will and testament of Lord Messiah Allah. Da, 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 da. Okay, witness of boom, 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 and yeah, and then that's pretty in the autograph. With the witnesses. Now this part here, right? Seal description. The seal of Allah El Dynasty, and that little space right there is where I put my thumbprint and sign through, or just kind of attack, do it a little bit over the IIL and into the space. You know what I mean? So where
Hmm.
it's like all connected. Like how you do with the UPU stamp. When you go off the stamp onto the paper, that's like saying going from the water onto the land. You know what I mean? Or from the land onto the water. You know what I mean? Because the water is surrounded by the land.
What are your thoughts on canceling stamps?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's that kind of brings me to what I was gonna say last night. When you mentioned about how you said it's been sent to 4 different counties, but they're kind of sending it back. So being that you're dealing with private mailing, maybe in the certain jurisdictions you're sending it to, maybe they don't handle private mailing, so that's why they kind of like shipping it around and then it's coming back to you, returning to sender. You know what I mean? So maybe it's just like maybe just certain areas or districts may not be able to do the private mailing or know how to handle it or whatever, or they may just be, being ignorant and not wanting to do it or whatever, and then just sending it back saying like, oh, I didn't know or something, to make excuses. But also too, you can get with the UPU and they can get on top of that too. Because remember, like I was saying, when you send things in the name of the UPU or with their style of postage, or in the name of your trust, that's trust laws applying to that. So they have to accept all trust instruments, otherwise it's breach of trust law. So so you want to send things in the name of your trust.
Yeah, that's one thing I wasn't doing, so that's what I'm gonna start doing. But I gotta get the trust in the mail first before I can do that, because it's not active until you send it to yourself. Is that correct?
Okay, I guess so. Yeah, okay. Or also when you file it. So say for example, when you like place it on your website, that they're gonna make accessible for the public. That's a form of publication. You know what I'm saying? And the root word of publication is public. So when you make a publication, you make something public knowledge. You make it public information now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, how they publish all their statutes and codes and rules and all that all online, and we can go online and look them up.
Yeah.
It's public information now. So that's why I be putting a disclaimer on my videos too. This is not this is not legal advice. All of this is public information for entertainment and educational purposes only. They're acting like I'm making this shit up. Like it's public information. You see me typing the stuff in. You see me Googling it. Like, like, I mean.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay.
But yeah. So seal description. So you have your seal, and it says as trust shall depicted as, and it says use of seal. The grantor and the administrator of the trust are both authorized to use the dynastic seal. I should put beneficiaries as well. The dynastic seal is to be used as an official on all official documents for the dynasty of the dynasty, extending from the records of birth certificates, certificates of live birth, creation of estate, incorporation of documents, receipts, enumerations, established for other trusts, beings of, belonging to, or related to this family trust, transfers as registrations of title, documents, records, everything, basically, all information. I could use the seal on that. The dynasty bloodline reserves all rights to the Allah El dynastic seal. So in other words, anybody in my dynastic bloodline, all the men in my family reserve the right to use the seal for any documents or any official documentation or administration pertaining to the will and trust of the said international organization that they are all by birthright a party to. And then also too, the other thing about international law. Remember how I was saying how when you accede to the convention, all of your immediate family members become a party to that as well. So anytime you're around any of your family, they have, it's like you shine a aura of protection. Like they're all under your protection when you're around them. You know what I'm saying? So whenever they're in your presence, so say you're traveling with your peoples down the street and you're an internationally protected person, all of your people become internationally protected, all your family members that are with you become internationally protected persons as well. So say your mother's driving, she doesn't have a will and everything done, but you do. You're on the passenger side. You let the officer know, listen, according to this convention, all of my family members are under the international protections in which I am endowed as well. So therefore, they are all internationally protected persons. You know what I mean? You show them this evidence, Like I said, a lot of times we gotta educate these officers because they're not aware, and we do it in a peaceful, manner. So we let them know because quite naturally their ego is gonna get in the way. Like, who the fuck is this civilian I just pulled over and bust out some international documentation on me, telling me that they have internationally protected rights, and I gotta respect that. Man, I was about to get on my cowboy shit. So now, you know, their feelings is hurt and their ego is feeling some kind of way. So now they like, oh, all right, you know. So that's why I say just always be peaceful. You know, a lot of people, and even me, I'll be wanting to stick it to their ass like, look, man, you better not fuck with me. I'm nah, you don't want to go that way. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Yeah.
you know, they'll still get on their bullshit. So you just want to keep it cool, keep it calm, and, you know, just be easy. So yeah, so the dynastic bloodline reserves all rights of excuse me, yeah, of the RIL dynasty. Certification of grantor. Um, Certification of grantor. I certify that I have read the Declaration of Lord Messiah Law Irrevocable Living Trust, and that it correctly states the terms and conditions under which, you know, blah 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 blah. All right, and now here, and I approve the declaration for revocable living for the irrevocable living trust. I got to change that. Trust and estate. Um, Under the law of the official seal, and then I put the schedule. Declaration for Lord Messiah Law Irrevocable Living Trust by and slash for Lord Messiah Law L Executive Trustee and Beneficiary. It says, for record keeping purposes only, the initial property held in trust by the trustee, Lord M. Allah L., under the Lord Messiah Law L. Irrevocable Living Trust is as follows. So I put New York State Department of Health certificate of live birth. You know what I'm saying? You see my government name on there. Put certificate of live birth. That's a long form. And then the next one is the transcript of birth. That's a short form. Acknowledgement of hold on, let me not scroll through all of this because I think I got my social somewhere right here. But basically I put the acknowledgement of paternity. I put my acknowledgement of paternity. I put
That's cool.
the certificate of live birth. I put the social in there. I put the you know, everything, all my documents. I put my marijuana card thing in there. I put my state ID in there. All these are now to become trust documents. So now, like I said, if the officer tries to ask you for ID, you have to make him aware that, listen, I have
Charger.
that this is my all the statutes and laws I gave them as to why, or the international law I gave them, excuse me, as to why we'll be using this form of identification. So therefore, basically, you have to accept it. And if you don't want to accept it, then I'm giving you this public. I'm giving you the public ID that is still a trust instrument held in trust. So now, and this is also gonna come just like my private ID, gonna come along with a fee schedule. Since you're asking this of me, and now you're asking me to go into my trust depository and hand you a trust instrument that is held in trust. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
by you placing those instruments in trust, you're now changing the contract that you made with the state to say that, okay,
Okay, so I don't have to worry about revocating anything.
right. So more so than revocating it, let's bring it under your jurisdiction more so. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
By placing it in trust and letting them know that this is now a trust instrument under a fee schedule. So now you're adding stipulations to that contract. And once you make the officer aware of that, his body camera is on, and most likely you're recording too. You just contracted with him in that fashion. Now, if he takes the card and goes to his car, be like, all right, I'll be right back. Okay, you just accepted that. You just accepted that contract. You
Yeah.
walked away with the information. You didn't rebut. You walked away and you started to go in, investigate, and do whatever. So you just accepted that contract based on that stipulation. And you have this all on record, you know what I'm saying, as well as he's recording.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On your trust, when you do like a grant deed of property for each instrument that you're putting into your trust, do you have to mail that each of those grant deed properties separately to yourself to make them active? Or can you put it all together with your trust? But
I would just say put it all together, you know what I mean?
Okay, because I have a different registered number on each grant deed of property, so they don't have to be sent through the mail with that registered slip. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, I would say maybe always make like a few copies of all of this documentation. So then maybe you could take maybe the original or a certified copy of the original and mail it to yourself, and then just keep the original for whenever you may need to go to court or go wherever or show forth the documentation. So
okay,
if you have signatures or a wet ink seal on it, and you'll keep that in your personal possession, and have a copy mailed to yourself, also the poor man copyright as well of all your documentation, all your intellectual property, because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You sit down and use your mind to create all this documentation. It's your intellectual property.
right.
So yeah. All right. So yeah. So then you're gonna have your witnesses. Affidavit. See, this is an affidavit. Okay. This part here, I don't think I will necessarily have to put this on here. Maybe I might take this part off because it's like state of New York, county of, and all that type of stuff. Take that off of there, or maybe just take out that county.
And you want to be the covenant tour, right?
Right in exact. Okay, so this right here. Okay, so affidavit. Yeah, this right here. I think this might be the attestation thing for you and the notary. So okay, well, testator has signed the name of the instrument, on certain date, blah blah blah, and agreed that to the following, and undersigned authority of all the following. I execute the instrument of my last will. I sign the last will willingly. I execute the last will free voluntarily. I am of the age of I am 18 and years of age and older, sound mind. It's basically like you drawing up a summary of everything and a statement of acknowledgement. Basically, that's what this is right here. And yeah, you sign and then get the notary thing at the bottom, and then yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, so I also assign as I put here Lord Messiah executor, and then over here I put Lord Messiah trustee. So I sign in two capacities, or I autograph in two capacities as executor and trustee. You know what I mean?
And so this is like the only time you want to be trustee when you already have your own trust set up. You don't want to claim trustee to the that makes sense.
Trust, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Public trust, right? And you want to take the public trust or the assets of the public trust and transfer them into your private estate. So that way you have control over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do with the grant deed of property. I was putting that into there. The birth certificate and the bond numbers and all that. Yeah, we've been sitting here for a minute. I said we've been sitting here for a minute.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Okay. You wanna yeah, because okay, and I just finished this will up right here. So you want to click this one out and then come back in on the next section.
Yeah.
And we'll start copy and pasting and.
Okay, cool. That'd be great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So peace. I'll see you on the next session.
Okay.
All right. So peace, y'all. We're going back on the next session. But once again, like I said, like I always say, man, it's how it goes down. It's how we elevate up for the universal temple, man. So, y'all need some help with certain things, man. I'm here for you, man. You know what I'm saying? I got time on my hands, and I'm willing to dedicate that time to the people. You know what I'm saying? Now, more so than me having to maybe do things individually with like every single person. If there's a few people at a time, we'll get a group meeting and we'll come together and we'll work on it all at once instead of me having to take time with each individual person. And also as you watch these videos, you know what I'm saying, and just go over because if I would help you with this, I'll be doing the same thing with you basically too. So you can watch these videos. You can watch these videos and get the understanding as well because you'll see how we're breaking things down, and then you can also do the same thing for yourself. Now, as far as the copy and pasting and the stuff from the actual document, then yeah, you might have to get up with me physically so we can do that. You know what I mean? But or also, if you want to take your time, pause it and write out, or use your phone. See, we got technology nowadays, y'all. We got ways to make things easier. You see how I be reading the stuff off the player, so I ain't got to read everything verbally. Use all your brain power, and also you got your phone nowadays. So say if you click and you pause the thing and you're like, oh, I like that part right there. Just go on your phone and be like, and just read it out. And like, okay, the authorized representative of the da 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 is going to autograph the document. Da, 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 okay, boom. Now you got that in your thing. Then you could take that on your phone, copy and paste it to your Word, and move it all around like that instead of you having to physically labor and write it all out or type it all out and all of that. It's going to take some long time. So you want to save yourself time using these technological advances we have nowadays. All right. So peace on that note, y'all, and I'm gonna see y'all back in a minute. Peace.